Wednesday at 8:30 to listen to GameSHOUT at the Movies, only on GameSHOUT Radio.
And now, it's time for the award-winning console game reviews by GameSHOUT. Console game reviews including Xbox, PlayStation, and others. GameSHOUT.
And welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. It's time for Gamepad Gamers. Yeah, baby. That's right. It's Gamepad Gamers. Thank you. It's that one time of the week where we get to use our jobs as an excuse to sit around and play video games for most of the time. Xbox, PS2, GameCube. We got it all down in here. And tonight is of no exception. We have a huge show lined up just for tonight. Yeah, I got it. Give me a second. Trick's over there waving at me. Alright. Anyways, we got a preview of Call of Duty 2, the big red one with Soulrift for the Xbox, PS2, GameCube. Then Captain Maverick's going to tell us all about Battlefield 2 Modern Combat in his Xbox review. Oh, he's been ready for this one. I'll be giving you guys a preview of Painkiller Hell Wars for the Xbox later on. And then at the end of the night, we'll be giving Vicious Total Control to give us his review of Resident Evil 4 for the PS2. But first and foremost, let's go to Soulrift and give him Call of Duty 2's Big Red One preview.
Hold on. Big Red One to you. Okay, here we go. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
I said not now, bro. We need some fire in the sky now! Get in that half-track and take out those
Call of Duty 2, the big red one. Hopefully that's not like a bruise or something, but... Well, apparently, I don't know if you've played Call of Duty, the original. I played that one on PC, and now here Call of Duty 2 is coming to PlayStation 2 and the Xbox, and the GameCube, so all three of the current generation consoles will have Call of Duty 2, the big red one, available to them. And if you aren't familiar with the Call of Duty series, it's a first-person shooter set in World War II and was well known for one of the most spectacular and cinematic experiences. The original game featured a lot of very memorable sequences, so we can certainly hope that Call of Duty 2 Big Red One will have equally exciting cinematic sequences. Now, in this game, you join the Big Red One, which is the America's most legendary infantry division. So you do play an infantry soldier in World War II, and this time your missions, which expand all across land, sea, and air, with lots of different scenarios, but you'll be visiting the American, Italian, French, and German areas. So they're expanding also the campaign into North Africa, which is a change. In the original Call of Duty, the missions were primarily focused on the European fronts and the West European and East European fronts. Well, now you'll be going into Italy and into North Africa, which should be a nice, interesting change of pace. Now you'll also be working with squad mates. Now in the original game there was a lot more solitary stuff, some covert ops missions that kind of broke the feeling of being in the big World War II scenario, and now they're going to focus more on the squad-based stuff. Now, you're also following more soldiers' stories. In the original game, you did play as a soldier. They called you a name, and you had a little bit of a story kind of following you along, but they're going to be expanding the stories even further in this game, because you are with this Big Red 1 infantry division, and you are in a tight-knit squad. So in addition to yourself carrying on a name from level to level, you'll also have your squad mates, and you'll sort of get to know their personalities and get to know them better. Now, they're also adding in and improving their AI, so for both your allies and your enemies, they should be able to react better and give you a more interesting and involving experience, hopefully getting away from the scripted events that kind of dominated the original game, and giving you more AI events, like in Fear, where every time you play, they're taking advantage of the environments, not because they're scripted to do so, but because the AI allows them to take advantage of diving for cover or manipulating the environment. Now, that's something we can certainly hope for. Now, they are saying for sure there will be additional tactical maneuvers, such as flanking and fire and movement, fire and maneuver behaviors, fire suppression, stuff like that, so that you will be able to use tactics on the fly, not just scripted, which really sounds exciting. And of course, the game is going to have full multiplayer, such as via Xbox Live and PlayStation 2 online. So you will have the multiplayer options online, as well as the single-player exciting campaign storyline. So this is definitely something to look forward to if you're a World War II first-person shooter buff. I believe, I'm not sure if it's the exact same thing as the Call of Duty 2 that was recently released on PC, or if it's undergone some significant changes as it was ported to console, but I'm sure it will still be a very fun adventure whichever way you go. Back to you.
Thanks, Soulrift. That was a great preview. Now let's go to weather with Captain Maverick with his Battlefield 2 review. Maverick?
I was captured by the Battlefield series from the very beginning. Battlefield 2 has quickly become one of my most favorite PC games. Though this project enjoys the same expertise that DICE has brought to the series in Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, is not exactly like the popular PC game that we've grown to quite love. It has a few new twists that I think you, might enjoy. The PC version of Battlefield 2 Modern Combat is very entailed. It utilizes all of the power and flexibility that a PC has to offer. But they were smart not to try to cram all of that into the console version, into it is available in PS2 as well as Xbox. But I played the Xbox version. Now, DICE optimized Battlefield 2 Modern Combat for Xbox. Didn't try to pull the PC port trick. We all know how that ends in disaster. As such, the Xbox version that I played was simply a treat to play because it was easy to control, being designed specifically for that console. Now, campaign mode is back. The story focuses on resource-rich area in Russia. It seems that China is also very interested in the Kazakhstan region of Russia, and the rest of NATO as well. Well, naturally, this leads to military conflict, and the battle is on. Of course, with a military operation of this nature, lots of heavy equipment is involved, like choppers, tanks, planes, and more bombs than most forces can drop in a lifetime. Ooh, yeah. And you're not limited to just one side of the conflict. You can play all the sides. And there's only one thing that makes this better, and that's, having more and better weapons. And guess what? It's there! Modern Combat is much like any other Battlefield game, as you start to play, but you're going to notice something a little bit different in Modern Combat, okay? It's called hot swap. Say, for example, your squad is deployed to a hot zone, you have a sniper up high, and a fire team on the ground maybe providing suppressing fire. But you say to yourself, I want to be that sniper for a while, because then I can get a good shot at the enemy and we can break through. Well, then you focus your view on that sniper, and a hot swap ring opens up, and you press the button, and bang, you're the sniper. You have to be in line of sight to be able to hot swap. If he's behind a wall, you're not going to be able to hot swap with him. You see, instead of commanding your team to move to a certain position, in Modern Combat, you become the team member. You move the character to where you want them. It's kind of a good and bad in its own way. First, you have a more exact method of placing your troops, but it does take a little bit longer. It's not as simple. It does have a variety of advantages. You see a chopper. It's up there offering covering fire. You see that one? Yeah? Well, now hot swap. You're the pilot now providing air cover. After hot swap out that troop, the AI is going to take over, and the AI is no slouch either. Your troops are going to effectively use cover and concealment to their advantage, and they do it well. But the troops, they're not going to follow you like a squad-based style, like puppy dogs following their master. You got to move them into position personally. And the best part about swapping is that you can get a different perspective each time on the battlefield. And also, you get to take all the best jobs or use the most powerful weapons. Really, it was a treat. Multiplayer, it's more freestyle Battlefield of old. The maps, they're large, allow for 24 players. Also, with the preceding titles, you're going to have your choice of the job, the weapons, what you want to do, and for example, you could be a support specialist, which is also a medic, and not only battle and heal, but you heal your troops. Oh, by the way, you can also call in an airstrike now. Now, the engineer, repairing vehicles, also battle. Special ops, my favorite, works well behind lines for sabotaging operations. Each character and class have special skills to perform and a valuable function to the whole team. You're also going to have at your disposal a full complement of vehicles. Yeah. You do have multiple passenger points in the vehicles, include for the driver. You can swap among the positions. For example, you can drive a Humvee, while other troops will operate the 50 cal. And at most passenger points, you're going to have the ability to fire at the enemy, so your vehicle can actually become a rolling wreck of death. A Battlefield 2 Modern Combat is a treat for the eye and ear as well. The graphics are tight, very smooth. The audio is very accurate. You can identify each weapon by its sound very easily, and I love the weapon model accuracy, of course. Even the vehicles sound solid and very unique. They're really, it deeply immerses the player into the game. Voice acting, I think, went a long way to delivering a realistic impression, and the use of the 5.1 sound, very effective. Look, there are a lot of combat games on the market. A game in this genre has to stand out. It has to really be good to stand out of the crowd. Now, since I'm already a Battlefield fan, it took very little to lure me into this project. I believe, though, that anyone who enjoys a good FPS or a good squad-based game is going to find Battlefield 2 Modern Combat very much to your liking. Personally, I can't wait to see the Xbox 360 version, because rumor has it that it will be more like the quality of the PC version. Overall, I gave this a 9 out of 10 on the Captain Maverick scale.
Rock on, Maverick. Rock on. That is awesome. Cool. I was looking forward to see if, Battlefield 2 is going to be worth our time, and it sounds like it really is. So, let's go on over to sports now with Painkiller Hell Wars.
Hold on, the board just screwed up on me again.
Oh.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Rock on. Painkiller is definitely one of those few games that, well, sure as hell brought back the old school way of first-person shooters. If you've played the Painkiller on the PC, then, well, for the most part, you've actually played Painkiller for the Xbox. It's for the most part, it's the same game. But if you haven't played it for the PC, then go right ahead, pick this game up, give it a shot, check it out. It's looking the Xbox version is looking superb. It's looking to be exactly like the original Painkiller. You have your a myriad of monsters of wacky style design. Very, very reminiscent gameplay to that of Serious Sam, where you have a big gun, and a lot of monsters. How can you go wrong? I mean, seriously, think about that. You have a lot of possibilities right there in front of you. Yeah, I mean, from the really cool staff weapon that you have that could be used like a propeller scythe, you just run up to them and buzz them in little pieces, to a giant chain gun, rocket launchers. Let's see, what else is there? Lots of stuff. It's insane. Not only
I like the egg beater one. Sorry.
Yeah, that is one of the best ones. Not only that, but you have like these insane boss monsters that are ginormous. We're talking huge. The first one that you'll run up against is a giant Titan with this huge warhammer that he smashes on the ground every few minutes. Now, every few seconds, but not only do you have to evade him and his giant warhammer, you also kind of have to evade all the debris that's falling on the ground every time he hits it. So when you jump to evade the smash of the hammer, you're also going to have to jump out of the way to avoid the smash of you. So, I mean, just there, right off the bat, let's put it like this. On the boss monsters, you end up kind of, standing in this gigantic arena, looking, at something. You're like, oh, that's not that big. That boss monster's not that big. He's kind of a small boss monster. We're not afraid of him. But then you realize as he's coming closer, he's still coming closer, and still coming closer. And still coming closer until you are up to his toenail, looking up going, whoa, I'm screwed, because, matter of fact, you are. Yeah, you're going to find a lot of the boss monsters are like this, and that's one of the coolest things and best parts of this game is that while you have all these awesome boss monsters, you also have all these really awesome levels, very dark, very intricate, very, very twisty-turny. It's like your Serious Sam indoors, but then you have the outdoor style. It's a lot darker than Serious Sam, let's put it that way. You're playing this guy who's battling against hell as heaven, and it definitely brings to the game a fresh perspective of what first-person shooter should be. It's one of the old school ones, bringing back to the heyday. Now, one of the other things that I'm hoping they bring into the Xbox version I haven't really seen if it's been confirmed as of yet, is the fact that they're going to have like these little cards that you can bring in before each level, and you can use these special abilities maybe once, maybe twice as you go into your combat and gameplay. That adds another strategic level to it. Graphically, it's the Xbox, folks. We're not going to be seeing that stellar graphics here compared to what the PC version was. It's going to be on par with that of maybe the Half-Life 2 and Doom 3 for the Xbox, but aside from that, we're not going to be seeing too much in versus the PC. But and it's going to be coming out late 2006, folks. That's late 2006, several months after the Xbox 360 is released. So if you can't afford the Xbox 360 and you're still looking for some Xbox love, give it a chance. Check it out. I'm very excited for this. And I'm very.
You're excited. Feel these nipples.
So yes, check it out. That's the Painkiller Hell Wars. Now, I think, do we want to give away a prize? Did we want to give away something tonight?
Well, third caller.
Ready? Third
we got
caller.
the phone
All right,
lines
folks.
ready.
All right, we got the phone lines up and ready to go. Folks, third caller. We got it. Wait, let me just show you a prize before you start calling in. You're all like, oh, I got to win it. I got to win it. Maybe you don't like it, but I don't see how you can't like it. We have for Xbox, Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler Hill. Or Green, actually. Road to Fiddler's Green.
Fiddler's
Plus, we're throwing in with it. Oh, there's a big plus to this one. Land of the Dead, the movie on DVD. That's Land of the Dead, the movie. Unrated, director's cut, special widescreen edition, plus the Xbox game. Come on. How can you go wrong? And here's the phone number you guys have to call. It's 1-866-300-9079. 1-866-300-9079. Only doing this live. You have to be 18 or older, and you have to be a U.S. resident. All right, so sorry, Canada. We'll figure something out for you sooner or later. Maybe we'll give away a moose skin or something. But that's 1-866-300-9079. If you're listening to the podcast, don't call the number because it's not going on then. But if you're listening to the live, this is why you got to listen to the live broadcast is when we give this stuff away. 1-866-300-9079. And we're going to come right back. We got a Resident Evil 4 for the PS2 review right after this.
Millions of people love Newegg.com. Go on that website and check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's a whole testimonial page. People are using the L word when it comes to Newegg.com. They say love. I love Newegg.com. How is Newegg.com earning this kind of devotion? Well, they sell computers, components, and electronics. That's true. But it's the great price. It's the huge selection. It's the fair shipping. And it's because the customer service is so great. They actually care about your satisfaction. They have video cards, routers, wireless networking equipment, DVD players, hard drives, software, digital cameras, and unbelievable fair shipping. So, I can't sing the praises of Newegg.com enough, and neither can anyone else. So whether you need a motherboard or the mother of all TVs, go to Newegg.com. You'll see what their millions of happy customers are raving about. Once you know, Newegg.com. GamesNet.net is back, and with some announcements about their new IRC services.
Do not be alarmed if you hear anything unusual.
GamesNet was the first IRC network for gamers since 1996. Forget about those other nonsense IRC networks such as QuakeNet or coffee drinkers such as GameSurge. Join the first IRC network for gamers since 1996. GamesNet.net.
Ooh, I love it!
GamesNet.net.
And welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. That's right, it's GameSHOUT Radio's Gamepad Gamers Live, uncut, unrated, widescreen. And that was actually, ironically, what we were giving away with one of our prizes tonight when we took caller number 3 for Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler's Green Xbox game, plus the DVD of Land of the Dead, unrated, uncut, widescreen edition. And we have
and that was to Mark. That was to the first one was to Mark Tippix of Austin, Texas. Mark, congratulations.
Good job, Mark, man. I love the fact that you called in. Folks, if you're listening to the podcast, listen in at this time. It's at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, Thursday nights. You can win stuff. Same at PC Playground. And that's at the same time, except it's over at Tuesday nights. But listen in. You guys can win. It's 8:30. I thought it was 9 o'clock. I thought we had tech and... Yeah, whatever.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's 9 o'clock. Oh, never mind.
Thank you. That's right. I'm right. Anyways, but yes, without further ado, wait, listen in next week, though, because we will be giving away another Land of the Dead game, plus DVD. Listen in next week at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursday night. So, but without further ado, I got to hand this over to Vicious before he kills me for not letting him do his Resident Evil 4 review for PS2.
Hero isn't what it's cracked up to be anymore. Used to be a cop myself. Only for a day. I thought I was bad. Somehow I managed to get myself involved with the incident in Raccoon City on my first day in the force. Excuse me. Sir?
It was just a few months ago when me and Josh were sitting on our little consoles and playing the GameCube version of Resident Evil 4, and I gotta tell ya, that was some fun gameplay. And, well, I got sent the PlayStation 2 version of Resident Evil 4, and I had to see if this was as good as the GameCube version. And guys, nothing to worry about. It's a true port. It's not something you'd be expecting from the PlayStation 2. It does have some different controls compared to the GameCube one, but the heart and soul is still there. And you're going to probably rip those things out with a chainsaw, as the game usually goes towards. But hey, still a good game. Resident Evil 4 on the PlayStation 2 does kind of stay true to the original graphics of the GameCube. Now, everybody, you got to remember, believe it or not, GameCube, it has better graphics. It's just the way that they built the console. The PlayStation 2 is probably the lowest graphics out there, but you really don't notice the difference. If you look really close with maybe a magnifying glass, you can see a pixel or two that are just not as sharp and crisp as the GameCube version. But, it's not a huge deal. I mean, I was expecting a little bit of downgradation when I came over to the PlayStation 2. But what I wasn't explaining was the additional added features that they gave the PlayStation 2 version. Now, in the original Resident Evil 4, there were a bunch of little features that they put in for the GameCube version, and I thought they were really cool, like, I'm not going to ruin the ending for you, but when you beat the game, there is an additional game that gets unlocked. And, in PlayStation 2's version, you get that. And unlike the GameCube version, PlayStation 2, all on one disc. Don't forget, you got a bigger disc and a bigger DVD. They can hold it all, and a little few added extras that the GameCube version couldn't hold. Now, I don't want to ruin and tell you what the little extras are, but let me just say, a few costumes, maybe a gun or two here and there. If I were to tell you them, I think I'd be a very bad reviewer giving away such an amazing little thing that they do in it that I just love. But let me assure you, there are some rather interesting enemies with little paper bags over their head and chainsaws that seem to multiply on certain levels that were never in the GameCube version. And, well, it looks amazing. Now, yes, the controls are a bit different. I have to say that's probably the biggest change I had while playing this. For me, when I was playing with the original GameCube controls, I felt fluent, it felt free. With the PlayStation 2, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but hands down, a very good port. I'd give this, just like the original, a 9 out of 10 on the GameCube review, or on the GameSHOUT review boards. Back to you, Josh.
All right, sweet diggity. That was an awesome. It was an awesome game for the GameCube, and I'm glad that it pretty much came over to the PS2 without fault for the most part. But so yeah, awesome, good job. Hey, I want to thank all of you for tuning in tonight for the Gamepad Gamer Show. We talked about Call of Duty 2, Big Red 1, Battlefield 2, Modern Combat, Painkiller, Hell Wars, and Resident Evil. We also gave away a cool game of Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler's Green, plus the movie, unrated after uncut director's version.
This is GameSHOUT Radio, the #1 talk game station in the world. Visit GameSHOUT.com for more info. GameSHOUT. GameSHOUT.